Hello, guys, and welcome to The Last of Us 2 spoiler discussion video with me, Travis, and VTM.
Hello.
We did our best in the non-spoiler review, but now we are unleashed onto the world.
Yeah, and the first spoiler I would like to say is fuck Seattle.
Fuck Seattle. I don't know what the fuck they did to you.
Okay. Everything that's going on in Seattle is the fucking worst. Like, they have the WLF, they have the Sephirites, or whatever they're called.
Scars.
And they also have infected.
Yeah. You can call them scars. It's fine.
Yeah.
Continue.
The fucking worst.
They are. The infected, the shamblers. We didn't even talk about the bloaters, which we could have. The bloaters are worse in this game.
Bloaters are scary.
Oh, I think it's because every single time you face a bloater, you're in like a confined area.
Yeah, they put you in a confined area just so you can see them going through walls like they're the Juggernaut bitch.
But I can tell you for sure, you're not taking down a bloater with 2 Molotovs like you could in the first game.
No.
They're tanky little bees. Tanky little boys. Tanky. So
Joel dies.
Okay, well, that was a setup. So in the first 3 hours, so we didn't purposely. We went back and forth. We were like, we can't even talk about Abby, who we're going to talk about here. Abby is a character. Abby was the daughter.
She is jacked to the brim.
Oh, she'll, and like I said in my stream, she will crack a coconut with her legs.
Like, we had giraffes in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
We got a gorilla for the second one.
Yeah,
like,
she's just. But I still think, I mean, even younger her. So she is the daughter of the surgeon that Joel kills at the end of the first game.
Yes. Everybody has a family.
Everybody has a family.
I keep saying it. It's a line that's from the first one. It follows over into this one. Everyone has a family. That surgeon that you're forced to kill,
yes,
has a family.
And to me, that is brilliant because that is the one character you have to kill.
Yeah, like David, you have to kill him. But
because there's 3 people in that surgery room, you don't have to kill the other 2, but you have to kill him.
But I did kill the other 2.
And that's fine, right? Like, but what
I was upset I didn't see their dead bodies everywhere.
There was usually I may have killed them all the first time because I switch it up every time I play it. But one thing is a constant: every playthrough, you have to kill him.
Yes.
Was it the same voice actor too? I don't even remember.
I do not know because I swear that they have a flashback of the surgeon talking to Marlene, and I swear that conversation is on a recorder.
Because
the exact same words are used. It's either a recorder or she wrote it down for a journal entry.
And it is possible.
It's the exact same conversation.
Yeah. But I don't even think in a journal entry. I mean, you could tell in the journal entries that she was wavering back and forth. But I don't ever think it ever went as far because there is a flashback that shows that Marlene at first was just straight up not for them killing Ellie.
Yeah.
It's just like you cannot do this. Like what she goes, what if it was your daughter? And then Abby comes walking in with her fucking arms, and she's like,
I brought you some food, Dad.
And then she's like, if it was me, I would want you to do it. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you would, but would he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a whole bunch of irony going around in this game, specifically on like Abby's part. Like, she's pissed at Joel for killing her dad. So she kills Joel, but she can't understand why Ellie's pissed at her. It's like, what?
I'm sure she understood that was possible. But then again,
no, because like, if she understood that was possible, then she would have killed Ellie when she had the chance. She would have killed Ellie and Tommy there.
Maybe she's cocky.
Because he's like, because Tommy even said, "This is my brother Joel."
Maybe she was cocky as fuck. Have you seen her arms?
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah. and I guess not everybody goes out to seek revenge either.
But
But
she did.
she had
Ellie did twice.
she had her mind set on killing Joel. She didn't want to kill anyone else.
I know.
Period. And that was the whole thing. Abby's character is not a brutal murderer, even though she looks like one when she's hitting Joel with a golf club repeatedly. She looks like, but that's just the anger coming out in her because he killed her dad. But she
had been thinking of this moment for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. She's not a brutal killer, which is why it's like, okay, we did what we came here for. I'm not killing these other two people that had nothing to do with it.
She's not a brutal killer, but she's been killing scars for a long time.
She's not. I highly doubt she's tying him up, shooting him in the leg, setting the leg, and then hitting him repeatedly with
torturing them or anything. She's not brutalizing.
Yeah,
she is killing.
She's surviving with killing the scars. She is surviving.
That's true.
She is surviving. That was a brutal attack on Joel, but if they kill Ellie and Tommy in that situation, that is an execution style. That's not what they're there for, and she's not that kind of person.
I just think, like, her character seems naive to me.
Maybe.
She seems like she's still young and naive. So, like, I was kind of thrown off when she was calling other characters kids. Because I was like, you're a kid yourself. Like, she's not that much. You can't be that much older than Ellie. She's
seen some shit.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Like she came off as naive, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Like, and maybe she was.
I wouldn't call her dumb because she seems pretty smart for the most part.
And maybe that's the character. But I think that's what they were going for there. Is it's like she wasn't there for them, and she doesn't want to go on this killing spree of these people. She just wants to, she doesn't want to tie them all up and brutally kill them. She was there for Joel, and that's it.
But there are others of her group that are like, we should kill them so they don't come back.
Yeah, but she says that. But that cutscene later on, you can kind of tell whether even though she was there,
like she contemplated it.
Yeah, she was there.
She not to, when it would have been smart to do that.
I'm fairly certain that when Ellie was begging, that she, for a second, thought about not killing Joel. She was there for that.
Maybe.
But she was like, no, because she hesitated, at least for a second.
Yeah.
Before she did it. And she's like, no, we have to do this. I don't think she would have. That's why she's like, we're done here. Like, everybody was like arguing back and forth, like, we need to kill them. And maybe and then Abby's like, no, we're fucking leaving.
Turns out they were the right ones.
Yeah, maybe, but again, it ended up getting most of her or all of her friends killed. But at that time, that's what I'm saying. Hindsight's a bitch.
They were the right ones. They should have killed them.
Hindsight's a bitch.
Yeah.
In that moment, that's not what they were there for. But so that happens to Joel about 3 hours into the game. Now, a lot of people
into the game.
That turned people off.
I timed it out. Joel has almost 30 minutes of in-game presence before he dies.
Yeah.
Because you play the first 15 minutes as him.
Yeah.
Or at least you play the first, 10 minutes. There's at least 5 minutes worth of cutscenes. Mm-hmm. One where you get to play guitar.
Yeah.
And then the other time, you don't get to play as him, but you're with him.
Yeah.
As Abby. That's when Abby runs into him.
Now, we talked about this. We didn't get into it in the review. I feel like this instance and when it happened turned people off from the game entirely. And I think at that point, and granted, if you played the whole game and you didn't like it, that's fair as fuck. I'm never going to say that you're not allowed to not like the game. Yeah. If you beat it all the way through. The issue I have is people who either know Joel dies early on or gets to that point and then they go into review the game because you're not going to get anything because that's 3 hours. You still have 24 hours of a game to play.
Yeah, my complaint with the whole Joel death is you're barely into the game. 3 hours seems like a long time, but when you're playing this game is long. This game is slow. So 3 hours feels like you barely just got into the game. You just figured out how to shoot and all that, and how to craft, and then he dies.
Yeah, it's that
why
shock.
I say there are things that I would reorganize about this game. You could still keep everything in it, everything the same. like every scene could be the same scene, but like just switch around. Like I said, you could move to flashback scenes, which the flashbacks in this game that deal with Ellie, I think are the best parts of the story.
Yeah, but
Like
that's just
I think it's well acted.
that's just how
It's
good
well,
that's just how good those parts are, though. I don't think it's a detriment to the rest of the game. Me personally, I just think those
no,
flashbacks are so good.
yeah, like they're great, and like they're great bonding moments between Joel and Ellie, and like getting to know these characters outside of them having to survive, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's them having fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I say they could have been placed at the beginning of the game
Mhm.
so we can build that more friendlier, like that more emotion with Joel, like that connection with Joel, so he can be ripped away from us.
I know
Like
I know people think that it's
I'm
Joel and
sadistic,
Ellie.
okay?
There's Joel and Ellie. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You're also the one that wanted to play as Abby the moment you killed Joel, which I think most people would turn the game off. Um,
Yes.
but I think, yeah, I mean, it took me at least.
I mean, they still show the same scene again.
It took. I know they did, but it carried more weight to me the second time than the first time. The first time is just a lady pissed off. Granted, you knew that they were probably fireflies. That only made sense. But in that moment, I
And
feel
my
like
argument for like mixing the Abby scenes with the Ellie scenes is like when you play through Ellie and like you start getting to the end, like at least for me, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this game to come to its ending. Like I'm ready to have Abby die. Like fuck her. And then the game starts over again. It's like, oh no, like I was already ready for this game to be over.
Yep.
And then it kept going, and that's why I felt kind of disconnected because I was ready for the game. Like mentally and physically, I was ready for the game to be over when it seemed like it was coming to an end with Ellie.
Yeah. But here is my thoughts on Abby's story.
Sorry.
I am okay with them splitting it like they did.
Yeah.
Abby was a character. Even when you start playing as Abby, I think everybody on Earth made her jump to her death.
I did not. I just played the game to keep going.
Well, to be fair, people found it funny, so I kept doing it.
Yeah.
It was the way
I didn't even want. I was like, fuck this bitch, but I'm interested to see like what she's been doing this whole time.
By the end of the Abby story, I liked Abby a lot.
Oh, Abby's side of the story has the best gameplay.
And I think some of the best part of the story, period.
Yes.
Like, go ahead.
Abby's allowed to have fun and like do new stuff, where like Ellie is like serious all the time.
Well,
like yeah, like she's on a revenge mission. Like it's like Kill Bill. You're on this mission to kill the people that helped kill your father.
Only one person got to sing "Take on Me."
Yeah.
Only one got to play that. I love that scene so much, by the way. When Ellie sings "Take on Me" to Dina.
Yeah. You only get to play what, 2 songs? Because you play "Take on Me," and then doesn't she she always like
she starts playing the song that Joel sang at the beginning a couple times. She never finishes it.
No, she never finishes it, which is sad because I want to hear her rendition. Because holy fuck, that song was sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and
brought a tear to my eye. I was like, oh, Joel's singing to my heart right now,
and it holds even more weight when he dies.
When you listen to the lyrics, like Joel's singing his heart out to this girl, like explaining that she's the reason he's still alive, which you can kind of gather that. Because it's like, in the first game, he loses Tess, and Tess seems to be, like, his brother's still out there in the world, but he hadn't been talking to his brother for a long time. And, like, Tess was his only friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, Tess was the only reason he was still living. And then he lost her.
Yeah.
And he's stuck with this girl. And they go across the U.S. together.
Yeah. I just, if if he lost Ellie, like if for some reason they switched it up, they would have never done it. But if for some reason they switched it up and Ellie died at the beginning, like I don't even think Joel could push on. Like that's just too much. I know he still has Tommy, but
Yeah.
I think that would just be too much at that point. I mean, that would be losing 2 daughters in one lifetime.
Well, I also kind of thought about it like this. I was like, well, Abby's story is kind of the same as like Joel's story at the beginning, like where he lost his daughter. But
Correct.
in that instance, the guy who killed his daughter instantly died.
The story with Abby, the father dying, Abby's relationship with her father is the same as Joel and Ellie's.
Yeah, it's a father-daughter relationship.
Yes. So basically, as the world turns, the revenge, because Abby was fun and loving and doing all this stuff. I mean, there was some flashbacks where it was Owen, but she was always like, she was super serious too until she killed Joel, and then her mission was accomplished.
Yeah.
Like, she was the same way as Ellie.
She got her payoff.
Yeah, she was the same way as Ellie. But it's that vicious fucking cycle that, if we can jump to the very, very end, and I know you want to talk about this, it's that vicious cycle of, okay, so Abby kills Joel, or Joel kills her father, she kills Joel, Ellie kills Abby, she didn't. And then Lev, who's a character we haven't talked about yet, which we will, would come after Ellie most likely, because that's probably that vicious cycle. And I think what happened a lot is Ellie.
Well, would Lev have come after her? Because Lev seemed like he was on his deathbed. Like,
I mean, it's a
at the end, and it seemed like Lev was on the verge of dying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a video game, so he would have lived.
Yeah, most likely. He will have drank all that salt water.
Yeah. And it's that thing where it's like, Ellie was seeing visions of Joel laying there dead. She kept seeing the visions. She was being haunted by this.
She had serious PTSD. She would get triggered just by small things. Mm-hmm. Like, she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep, like she's been losing weight. She can't do basic things without getting triggered.
A barn door closed and made a sound, and she instantly thought of the golf club.
Yeah, like, she's haunted by his death.
Yeah, it's the thing of somebody that you love being murdered literally right in front of you.
Now, like, my problem with the ending is they never once shown that Ellie... Like, they show that she's able to try and forgive, but that's at the very end. But they never once show through the story that she's willing to forgive Abby for what she did. Like, she understands why Abby did it. But every single action she takes, it's to kill Abby. Like, she leaves her home twice in this game to kill Abby.
She did kind of come to, even though they were trying to kill each other in the theater, they did come to the realization. It's like, I understand why you did it. He did it to save me. Like, she understands that, because there was that flashback where, she goes back, which is one of my favorite scenes, where she goes back to the hospital. Yeah. Ellie does. And she finds the video the audio recording.
She figures it out.
She figures out, which that scene had to happen.
Yeah, it had to. It was one of the questions of, like, would she ever find out, or did she know he was lying? Like, it was just something that was nagging away at her. Like, what if it was a lie, or what if? Because she never
believed him at the end of the first game.
No, she
just said okay.
There was always that doubt, and it seemed like it grew over the time.
But then again, I mean, people if I remember correctly, and I do remember correctly, people weren't a huge fan of the end of the first game either, because it ended abruptly when she said okay, and I thought that ending was fine.
Well, because it was like, did she believe him? Did she not? Like, it seemed like.
But that's the point.
Either. Yeah.
That is the point. It's the same. She was seeing these visions of, Naughty Dog, except for like Uncharted, they don't really do this because they have set endings. But with The Last of Us, it seems like they're trying to leave these open endings for some sort of discussion, like the hidden meaning of it.
But
She
this
was
one feels like it doesn't have an open meaning. Like Abby gets exactly everything she wants.
yeah, but Ellie was seeing
Ellie loses everything.
Yes, but that was because of Ellie's obsession. Because Abby also lost
But
everything.
Abby was obsessed.
Abby lost everything but Lev. She found
That's
the Fireflies again. She lost everything. The obsession of trying to get revenge on somebody will get people you love killed.
Yes.
And that is the meaning of that. Ellie
never
was
once did Ellie come to that conclusion. Like it didn't seem like Ellie came to that conclusion.
Ellie
stopped.
All Ellie could see was Joel laying dead. They made that perfectly clear that that's all she could see was Joel laying dead on the ground. In that moment when they were fighting, she finally saw Joel in a different light. She remembered when he talked about forgiveness and how he was able to, that Ellie was able to forgive him for taking pretty much her meaning for life in her eyes away from her.
But as the player, we wouldn't have known that until the next scene after. So it's like
correct, but what does that do? But the scene exists.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like, if they had if they played that flashback before that ending, it would have sat better with me. But like, never once through the whole game did they ever preach to Ellie that she should just forgive.
But what does it matter if the flashback was before or after? It still exists. That flash she saw when she let Abby live was that scene.
It was the scene, but we didn't have any context until right after.
After it. But that doesn't ruin the ending because you did get context. It's not like they didn't show you a scene.
It's like, why didn't she just think of that scene when she had her family after a year or so?
But it's
like what? She had a kid and a new house. Like, she left Jackson. Like, she was alone and fine until Tommy showed up again.
Yeah, but I don't think she was fine. I just think...
No, she wasn't fine. Like, she was still fucked up, but, like, she was living her life. She wasn't looking for Abby. Tommy was. And that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like... there's a moment in the game where, like, you're playing as Abby and you're forced to beat the shit out of Ellie.
Yes.
And then after that, like, Abby leaves because, like, she's like, I never want to see your face again.
Lev kind of stopped. Lev stopped her. If it wasn't, if Lev wasn't there, they'd both be dead.
Yeah, Lev pretty much chimes in. If you kill her, you're just like them. Like you're the monsters that you hate.
Mm-hmm. Because Dina, that would have been a brutal scene.
And with that makes sense because it's like she's trying to be better than them.
Mm-hmm.
And like even her story was shown that she was trying to be better. Like she became allies with someone she used to call an enemy.
She's blinded by that rage, just like when stuff like that happens. Just like Ellie is blinded by this rage of seeing Joel dead on the ground.
But again, we saw examples of Abby being able to forgive, but never once did like every turn that Ellie had, every chance that Ellie had to go home, she never took. Like when she first gets there, she finds out that Dina's pregnant. She could have went home, but she used Tommy as an excuse to stay. Jesse shows up and he's like, we need to leave. We need to find Tommy and leave. So they keep going. Then the chance that they finally get Tommy, or that they can go get Tommy, she's like, fuck Tommy. I know where Abby is. I'm going to go kill her. So like and it seems like every chance that she's had to turn around and leave Abby, she's taken the chance to keep going after her.
She is literally Abby before she killed Joel. Because if you remember when Owen said, turn back, we'll get everybody, we'll go. And he left, she said, fuck it. And she went by herself.
Exactly.
She is literally Abby.
Abby
and Ellie's story is the exact same. It's that story of revenge clashing into each other.
It is. But then she gets her face beat in. And then she has a family. She has a family life. It seems like she's done hunting Abby. Like, For all we know, she's done, and then Tommy shows up on her doorstep.
But I don't think...
And that's where I have the problem. It's like, without Tommy, like, you could have had the same ending. Like, Tommy could still show up, be pissed, like, I have Abby, but Ellie could have stood at a hard no. Instead of, like, sitting on it and then leaving, and then she loses everything.
Everybody has a family.
I know, but, like, again, like,
she loses everything. The point is, and the point I'm trying to make is this obsession with killing this person, Abby's obsession with that, with Joel, Ellie's obsession with Abby will get everyone around you either killed or everybody will stop putting up with your shit. Because Mel was leaning that way for a long time.
I don't think Mel ever liked Abby, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Because, like, there's a scene where she's like, "You've always been a terrible, shitty person."
Yeah, which I don't agree with Mel on that one, but...
I don't know. We don't know all of the 4 years, so she could have been, like...
She could have been, I guess.
Like I said,
I think years of
Mel and her were ever friends.
There was ever a vibe.
They tolerated each other.
Yes, but people were getting mad at her, just like everybody was getting mad at Ellie for this obsession with it. Yeah. Her ability to let that go, to actually see forgiveness. And I don't think for me it really matters if the scene with Joel was before or after it, because we saw what she was going for there.
I just mean, like, I feel like I wish they would have shown that Ellie was able to forgive Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all I wish.
But they did. Like, it just wasn't... It was after it. But you still got that context. It's not like you never got that context.
Again, like, gone off of, like, everything about the game, it's like, in this game, they're leading up to Ellie killing Abby. Like, that's her whole motivation this whole game. Like, never once does she ever ponder, like, the only time she ever stops is after she kills Mel, and she's like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
Yeah, I think I mean, she had to have seen in herself because Ellie ends up pretty much being the villain of this game.
Exactly, and like that, the Mel part is the only thing that I could think of that would make her not kill Abby. And it's like, but she doesn't think about that. She thinks of Joel.
Yeah, because that scene, I mean, she killed...
And yeah, the scene is of forgiveness, but again, as the player, we don't know that.
Yes, like, but to actually get that fucking scene... But people, if in that case, people are pretending like that scene that played out afterwards doesn't fucking exist if people are saying that ending's terrible because they don't understand it. For me, you don't have to have the cutscene before the fucking happened to get the damn context.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, why does it matter if the context comes before or after? You're still getting the same context, the same flashback.
It's just that, like, I don't know, like, in the pit of your stomach, it's like, oh, like, I was hoping that this would have been the climax. Like, we could have had it. And then, like, you go home, Ellie's lost everything. It's a sad ending for Ellie. And then it's almost made even sadder seeing that, like, she's willing to forgive Joel, and that's the day before he dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like that's it kind of like it shows that she's willing to forgive, but it's also even shittier because again, it's the day before he dies. It's like she's trying to forgive him right before he dies.
Yes, and I think
so they never even have a chance to try,
and that adds even more weight to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It adds even more weight. I don't think that takes away. I think it adds weight. I think everything they went for made sense to me. Maybe you'd want to split up in different ways. I don't know. But like you wanted to be, I like the way they did it. Before we jump too far in, let's talk about, because we've talked about Lev, but we haven't really talked about him because he also has a sister, Yara, who is also in the game. And so if you look back at, I can't remember what trailer where it was released, but the one where people said they were trying to use brutality to sell their game. I mean, that cutscene is pretty much frame by frame in this game.
Trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty much frame by frame in this game where she's being hung and then Yara, well, we didn't know who she was, but it's Yara, gets her arms smashed. It looked awful. With a hammer. I knew it was coming. I didn't even look. I'm like, I'm not like
baby.
I could watch. I was just like, I've seen it. I know.
Yeah.
It was brutal. And then Lev saves him with the arrows. Now that scene right there, from that point on, and I, other than the fact you're like, okay, what's going on with Abby? You know, a lot of people are gonna be like, I don't want to play as her, but I really enjoyed it because once you get to that point where she's being hung,
That's where the story changes into being better.
it's that not even better. From that point on, the story is fucking awesome, and I don't care.
Like that's the point where I was like starting to hop on board with Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they force you to play just as long with Abby as they do with Ellie.
Yes, but that didn't bother me. We talked about. I don't think it made the game too long. I loved it. Abby's story kept getting better and better to the point where she fought fucking Colossal Man.
Yeah, Rat King.
Rat King.
I don't know why he's called Rat King, but that's what he's called.
Basically, it's a bloater on steroids with another
like
fucking infected.
Clickers put together. It's gross.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
But yeah, like I don't know. The reason I say I was disconnected with her story is like again, like I said, I felt like with Ellie we were playing a long time with Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it was getting to the scene that they crossed over again, like I was kind of ready to get to the end of the game because I was like, oh, we just went through that really terrible storm, and then like we killed Mel and Owen, so like all that's left is literally Abby. She's the next one to die, so like we're getting close to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. But we knew we weren't.
And then Abby showed up.
I knew we weren't because we'd only been playing the game for like 13 hours at that point. It was
really. It felt really long.
No,
that's why I say like it felt like they were winding us for the ending. Because again, like going through that storm and all that, it's like, oh, this is the climax. This is it. You know, Abby's here. It's time to go kill her. And then she's not there, and it's like, what the fuck? And then you kill this pregnant chick that you already know is pregnant, and her boyfriend.
Who's Mel? We didn't. Yeah, Mel and Owen. Owen is the boyfriend of Mel, who also likes Abby, and fuckity fuck did they fuck.
Yep. It was definitely not like PG-13 in this game.
Oh no, that's fine.
This next thing actually took me by surprise. Like again, I was like, oh my god, like whoa.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the brutality in this game. What the fuck about this? Like, what about this?
Yeah. I just, I never jived with that. I know some people were like, you have to kill a dog, which you don't have to until the one part right before she kills Mel and Owen.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, rest in peace, that dog. He's probably the only good boy in the game. I'm sorry, buddy.
Alice.
I'm sorry.
His name is Alice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. I apologize. That was the only dog. The other dogs is like I had no connection, and I'm a huge dog person.
Well, and that's why I say they should have like crossed over Ellie and Abby's because like you get to know who these characters are before they die. But at the end of the day, you know they're dead. Like
they're dying.
That's why I say like I would have rather had their like the character building. Before they die.
Here's the thing, they die, right? Even PSP girl or Vita girl or whatever.
Yeah.
But knowing they die and you put hand.
But their whole thing is like their whole thing about this game they've been saying is like, oh, everything's like kind of personal. Like people will call out for like their dead friends and all that. And it's like if you really want to make us feel that, let us get to know like these people that we're killing. Like the whole group outside of the hospital, Abby talks to them.
I think,
and that's right before Ellie kills them.
I think for me it holds just as much weight because you literally just got finished killing them all, right? Like you had just killed Owen and Mel, and Abby had turned up at the theater, and then it goes to the cutscene where her father dies or whatever, and then you're playing as Abby. And you get to know these characters, and you're like, I never really meshed with Mel too much. No. But like Owen, I liked Owen. Even Manny, who fuck him, but he was fine. Who were the other characters? I can't remember them by name.
Nora
from
the hospital.
Nora, and she was super.
The only ones that get characters, other than Manny, who we don't kill.
Mm-hmm. That's
like other people that The only other characters that get character building that we do kill as Ellie are Nora, Mel, and Owen.
And I think those are the ones that they focused on because Ellie killed them.
Yeah.
They didn't really show. I mean, I guess Abby never really finds out that Nora died, unless they did, and I don't remember.
Abby doesn't find out about any of them dying except for Owen and Mel.
Well, Manny got shot in the face right in front of her,
Yeah.
so I think she knows that one.
Yeah. But yeah, like Owen and Mel are the only ones that she knew.
Yeah. And I mean, how would she know about Nora?
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. But I feel like you put that focus, like you had just killed them. Now you're playing all these people that you just killed, and now you're getting to know them, and you're getting to be like, oh my god, these aren't actually bad people, and we fucking killed them for Joel, which again is that vicious cycle that I talked about.
Yeah.
And I know some people are shitting on it, but they're like, we know violence is bad, but it's like that's not the fucking point.
But it's bad.
You know.
No, the point is everyone has a family.
Everyone has a family.
Quote. It's a powerful quote. Everyone has a family.
Yeah. And you know, it's that revenge of like we cannot stop until we get revenge. And it's almost like it wasn't as awesome as Kratos snapping Boulder's neck.
Yeah.
But
the cycle has to end.
It's kind of like that moment where he's like, the cycle ends here, we must be better than this.
Yeah. And Abby's all about that. Like that's why I feel like Ellie didn't come to that conclusion. Like she just stopped. Like Abby was at that conclusion.
Yeah.
Abby was there.
Yeah, Abby
she saw the clarity.
Like when Ellie got Abby off the cross or the crucifix, whatever she was on.
Abby was there at the theater. Like she was at that moment at the theater.
She was done, yeah. But I guess I'm harking back to
I think Mel or Lev really set her on course to be like stay on that track of like we need to end the cycle.
Yeah, I guess my point, and I understand in the theater she was like that, but at that point, at the end of the game, she had zero interest in fighting Ellie.
Yeah,
she was just like, I'm done. Like I'm just happy I'm alive at this point and able to row out of here.
Yeah,
like I'm fucking done.
And
that's when in that moment when Ellie made that decision, which I don't even think she agreed with, but she had it in her head that like I have to do this. I have to avenge Joel when she didn't have to. It's just like,
why not just like shoot her? Like that's something I always wonder. Is like they could have been like she was like arguing with herself on if she should kill Abby or not. Because she could have just shot her.
Yeah. I think she was wrestling. I think she was wrestling with it on the way out to the boat. I mean, it's not like she attacked her right away. She let her walk all the way out to the boat. And it looked like Ellie was gonna hop into the boat and row the other direction. But then she got that Joel flashback again, and she's like, "No, I can't do this because it's not, I'm gonna keep getting these flashbacks." And the only time she's like, "Okay, I can try to forgive you," is when her PTSD showed her a vision that wasn't Joel dead. It was him talking about forgiving, or being able to forgive, or Ellie being able to forgive Joel.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the ending. Sure, maybe you can come up with many different ways. Maybe you do it differently, but where I'm sitting, I thought it was a good ending.
Yeah.
Granted, it didn't end well for Ellie.
No. And that's why I say, like, if you're gonna end it that way, you should have just killed her, because she's literally lost everything.
And it's this, and that's what I'm saying. This sick obsession will not end well if you keep this up. It didn't end well for Abby. I mean, sure, she had Lev. It didn't end well for Abby. It didn't end well for Ellie. You just can't, this vicious cycle of wanting this revenge at all costs, at the cost of your friends and family, isn't a good thing.
Because, like, I don't want a sequel to this game, but the question is, like, what happens to Ellie? Or what happens to
Truthfully,
Abby?
In my head, I just think because, I mean, there's a 99% chance that Dina is
Oh, she went back to Jackson.
Yeah, Ellie
That's
knows.
for
Ellie
sure.
knows where she is.
Yeah, but like, would Ellie try to get back with her when like
I
Dina
just,
seems done with her shit?
to be honest,
Like Ellie chose revenge over her family.
yeah, I mean, she can try because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, if I'm able to forgive Joel for taking my life meaning away, and I'm able to forgive Abby and let her live, then maybe Dina will forgive me.
Maybe.
And I think, but really quick, we didn't really talk about the Lev and Abby relationship, which
Yeah, we keep getting away from it. It's the Joel and Ellie relationship, but
mhm,
instead of Ellie being wise, it's kind of a naive Ellie and a not so confident Joel.
mhm. I think I like Lev as a
Like
character.
it's a kid who doesn't get sarcasm
Yeah,
and
I love Lev.
a teenager, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Lev is a really good character. He
He
really
is.
plays, and I think he's the character that made Abby a better character.
Yes. It's 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 like what's boy's name?
The boy,
It, yeah, boy.
Sam.
Huh?
Who we talking about? Oh, boy. Oh, Atreus.
Boy. Yeah, it's like Atreus. He makes Kratos be better.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen Kratos in his rage.
Yeah.
But he controls that around his son. So his son is making him a better man for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what Lev is to Abby. Lev is making Abby a better person.
Yeah. Because
like, not only because like he's an impressionable kid and she's trying to take care of this kid and protect him,
mm-hmm.
but also because he brings a different perspective to her life. Like he's the enemy, but some of the words he says helps her.
Well,
like she has vertigo. Like she has a crippling fear of heights. Kind of like me. I'm with her. I'm on that boat.
Yeah.
But like he gives her encouraging words, and it's like he gives her the same words that are used in The Dark Knight Returns or Batman Rise or whatever.
Yeah. You also learn more about the scars, as in like their actual religion that they follow doesn't believe in violence, but their people twisted the words after she died to make it about violence.
Gee, it's like the Bible.
Well, every religion is twisted in some way to twist it. Every religion will twist the words to fit anybody's fucking criteria.
I know.
But
yeah.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. But you get, I really like Lev because he's one of those characters that, like an Ellie. I don't think Joel is as good of a character. Like if it's just Joel walking across the country for no fucking reason. It's like
play off of. That's why I say like Ellie's is way too serious, where like Abby gives you that familiarity of The Last of Us.
Yeah. And one of my favorite scenes in terms of dialogue in the game is when Lev's sister Yara dies, right? And
that's when Abby makes the full
poor Yara, she couldn't get through it.
Okay, so she was deemed a warrior, so she was a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She probably liked the fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But she was a fighter. And then she lost her arm.
Because they smashed it with the hammer. Yes, the hammer that we talked about that we smashed her arm earlier, they had to amputate her arm.
Yeah, it was turning
beet red. It was crushed.
Gangrene. It was on the verge of gangrene.
Yeah. Her arm,
they called it sectionalism, where like part of your body just shuts off.
Yeah.
It's like people who like suffer like leg injuries and all that. Like they could try to keep the leg, but it might not heal correctly, and it could go gangrene, so they have to amputate.
And this is an apocalypse, so they had to.
Yeah. I personally, I actually know of a case like that, and it's a real thing. Like, so this actually is a real thing. Like, it's not just made for the game.
I mean, her bone was crushed, so yeah. It was either do that or not. But when she dies, she's killed by the wolves, who are supposedly Abby's people at that time.
They're
And
like the new Fireflies.
yes, and they notice that it's Abby, and they're like, Abby, and she's like, I don't fucking care, and she just beats the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And she goes back and she's like, she's really dead.
Well, they're gonna kill Lev too.
Yes, she's like, she's really dead, and Lev's like, these were your people, and Abby's like, you are my people.
Yeah.
And then that's where you're like, yes, Abby, you got this.
Yeah.
And then and that's what I mean. Like, this game does a really good job of taking me from Abby, who you fucking hate. Like, I couldn't get over my hate. I slept and I woke up and I'm like, I need to kill this bitch.
Yeah.
After she killed Joel. But the way they told the story for me.
That's why I say, like, imagine if they, like, had the stories crossing
But
over,
I don't want that.
Like,
I don't want
where,
that.
Like, you could see Ellie
that is
becoming
perfect.
the
that
bigger
is
villain.
That is perfect storytelling. I don't want it crossed over because I think playing as Ellie directly after you kill Joel is a terrible fucking idea, and I don't know why you suggest it.
Okay, maybe you figure out how not to play Abby, like, right off the bat.
I think it's perfect storytelling because you take a character that I fucking hated for hours, and when you first start playing as her, you're like, oh my god, I still hate her. I don't want to play as her. And by the end of the game, I liked her just as much as Ellie. Not as much because Ellie's number one, but I liked her almost just as much as Ellie. And to be able to get there, that's fucking good storytelling. I don't care. It is good storytelling to even get to the point. Because if you would have told me 3 hours in that she hits Joel, the golf club kills him, and I would fucking like her by the end of the game, I'd say you're fucking full of shit, no matter what you did. But they found that way.
I think I would have liked her faster if we started playing as her before the theater scene. Because again, it was the whole Jessie thing, the whole Jessie dying thing that really, like, reignited my hate for her. Because it was kind of dying down. I was like, oh, she's been off screen. I haven't really been thinking about her.
Yeah.
Don't hate her as much. And then, like, instantly, Jessie dies. It's like, oh, I hate this bitch.
Yes. But she killed Joel. She shoots Jessie in the face, and somehow by the end of the game, you still relate to her and like her more than you ever thought you would. At least for me.
I liked her. And then she shot Tommy, and I was like, fuck this bitch all over again. Like, I was over her. Like, I had goodwill built for her, and then she shot Tommy again. And I was like, god damn it.
Granted.
And then he was live, and I was like, I still don't know how I feel about her, though.
Granted, she literally walked into Alice, Owen, and Mel all being dead.
I know.
So, of course, and and I know you don't care about those people who died as much as Tommy. You cannot fault her. And I realize I'm happy Tommy didn't die. And I would have been feeling a way if Tommy and Joel both died in the same game. But,
like the thinking is, like, I can like her, but at the end of the day, these people are connected to Joel, and I'm connected to Joel. So these people have to live.
Yes, and they did live. But and the only reason that Ellie even lost her fucking fingers is because of that obsession. Otherwise, she would just somehow her nose wasn't fucked up, and that should be her own victory.
That's the real question. Like, and that's like I came up with an alternative for the ending. I was like, well, if you still want to kind of have the same effect of, like, Ellie, like, you can still have Ellie having PT, like, you can go through the whole life. Just when Tommy shows up, Ellie means no. And then maybe you end the game with her singing the same song that Joel sung her to the baby, but at the end, she looks angry.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like she still has that thought of revenge in the back of her mind. It's still eating at her.
I just didn't want a third game of, oh, I'm going after Abby. Because that's what would have happened if they did that. This, while all characters,
I would have thought, like, maybe she's fine with staying, but, like, at the back of her mind, she still wants revenge.
Yeah.
But like, is it worth it? Like,
if you
she's put her family over revenge.
But then you do that, and people are gonna be like, you're gonna have a third game where you go after Abby, and it's just like, I don't want a retelling of the same story. I like the way they did it because it was able for Ellie to finally see where she can possibly forgive Abby. I mean, Abby let her live twice. You know, and then, I mean, Ellie lets her live that last time, and the only reason she even had a fucking chance is because Abby lost her fucking gains.
And, like, I don't know. My thinking was like, if you replace it with the way I said, like that way you can show that Ellie has a replacement love for Joel. Like she has her family now. She has the baby. Like that's her new love now. Like that's the people in her life. Like Joel was in her life and she loved Joel, but she also has this kid now that she also loves. And like she has to be there for the kid like Joel was there for her. That's why I say like you could have ended it with her with the family, but like still have that like she's still mad, but like she can get over it because she has something else.
Yes. And I can see how you could make like you would take it a different way or you would do it this way or that way. I guess my argument, and I hope I tried harder, I hope it helped at all. I don't think the ending's terrible. I just don't. Like, you could see it going a different way. You could be like, okay, I would have done it this way. But
my only argument for the ending is, like, her giving up is very abrupt.
I think...
And yeah, they do flash Joel, but again, it's, like, to the player in the moment, you're like, what the fuck?
Yes,
why?
But you would have to completely ignore the flashback that happens after that. Like your whole issue with it is you wanted the flashback before it, but we've already had this argument already, so I don't want to go too deep into it. You still get the flashback.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't exist. I can understand if Joel's playing a guitar. Let me finish.
Flashback actually doesn't help because it makes me more mad. Because again, like I said, it's a day before he dies. It's like that makes me even angrier, knowing that they never got this chance.
Yes, but it was that willing to forgive. Willingness to forgive, and that was him playing guitar. If it would have been him playing a guitar, popped up, and that's all you saw, and she just let it go, and that flashback never happened, I'd be right there with you. But we get that flashback. We know what that meant. It doesn't matter if it happened before or after it. Yeah. So for me, the ending makes sense. I think a lot of people's just like, I want to be able to kill Abby, or why did she stop? But like, it's right there in front of you. That is why she stopped. And if you could beat the game and you still don't understand why she stopped, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's not like the flashback didn't happen. It happened. Maybe they weren't paying attention.
Okay, so here's my question then. Okay. Did they need to save the flashback for the final scene?
I think
or when it flashes up when you're drowning her, should they have played it there? Like, just played the flashback full out?
No, I don't think so. I think, no. Because then that would have been drawn out.
Was the flashback just him sitting on the porch, or was that at the dance, too?
It was the same cutscene as they showed after it. Because he was wearing the same clothes and it was on the same porch. I mean, I know it's probably his house.
I mean, like, the last flashback. Like, was it just him on the porch, or was it the whole, like, dance?
Oh, I think it was just him on the porch. So what happened after the dance?
Yeah. Because like now that I think about it, it's like they could have just played the flashback there. So when she lets go, it ends on the fact that she's trying to forgive Joel. Like she's trying to forgive.
But and then I think for me, see, I guess where I'm standing, I just see that as kind of a nitpick, and for me, just to let a nitpick ruin the end.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about flashback.
Like, even if you change where the flashback is, like, the ending's still sad because she still has to go home and see that no one's there for her.
But and like we've talked about this whole time, it's that sick obsession. You won't win in the end, even if you do.
Yeah.
I mean, even if
Abby won.
Yeah, no, she didn't. She lost all of her friends. Sure, if you count Lev, but is losing.
Really, she only lost Owen because Mel was being a bitch anyway.
She really liked.
We're going to Santa Barbara, and I don't want you to come with us.
She really liked Manny.
Yeah. Even though Manny spit on Joel.
At the same time, even though Mel said what she said to Abby, I don't think Abby wanted to see Mel dead. Like, she was still her friend. It's just she was being a bitch before. Baby, so. Yes, she still killed a pregnant woman, or Ellie did. And Nora, well, she didn't know she died, but I mean,
Yeah,
maybe we
like
should piece that together.
Abby
But
didn't know anyone else died that
yeah,
went with her.
but at the same time, without even knowing that she lost everybody, she lost everyone just because Ellie knew exactly because she was in the room who was there when they killed Joel, and she was going after all of them. And that sick obsession of Abby going after Joel at all fucking costs cost her everything but Lev. And it would have cost her Lev too if she didn't fight or everything. Just like Ellie trying to kill Abby at all costs cost her everything.
Yeah.
Abby may have got what she wanted in the end, but not really. I mean, she got to row away. I mean, she got to the Fireflies. I mean, if that counts. But I mean, that was kind of the
She
story. I
didn't
mean,
get to the Fireflies.
it is told by people who work. Even though I don't agree because it looks like Santa Barbara, but somebody said it was like confirmed that the main menu screen after you beat the game is Catalina.
No, it's Santa Barbara. It's right outside that mansion.
That's what. But
They can't. Like it looks exactly like the mansion that
I
like
agree.
just burned down.
I agree.
Like, why are they trying to lie? And why would Abby know to go there?
I mean, they can. Did you not see the fucking scene where she got the Fireflies on the radio?
I assume that was the dude.
That is the Fireflies.
Oh. I assume that was the dude that immediately jumped them as soon as they left.
No, it's literally the Fireflies. That's how they knew
Oh.
that's how they knew when she said the doctor's name. Or that they knew that it was really them.
Well, I figured that they might have been like ex-Fireflies or something like that, and then they just became a random group of assholes.
No, because she wasn't even radioing out to that area. She was radioing out
That is true.
to different places on different frequencies.
Okay, so I completely got that all mixed up because I assumed that those dudes that were out there were like the dudes that were radioing her.
No, because they answered she was frequencing into Catalina.
Because I was like, how would they know that she was there?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so like they were just waiting for her.
It's a video game. Everybody knows everyone's there.
Yeah.
And poor Lev.
So that's how I took that scene. I was like, oh, so those dudes were just waiting.
No,
But
that
even
was
still,
that was
even
literally
still,
the
if it's
Fireflies.
like if it's that other place, like that's bullshit. What? How would we have known that?
Well,
It
I mean,
looks exactly like the mansion.
I didn't look
that
too
burns
closely.
down.
I just assumed it was Santa Barbara too, but it has been confirmed that I know of, and I'd look in. Maybe it hasn't been confirmed.
Outside sources cannot confirm it. If it looks exactly like the same building that you walk out of at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
So
but that's what someone said.
If they want it to be that way, they should make it specifically clear.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like that's because even the beginning screen is of Santa Barbara because the boat is latched onto the post.
Yeah, but it's in fucking fog.
Exactly. So like they're gonna have the same beginning screen, but like it's day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to think that's Santa Barbara because it just changed from fog to clear.
Yeah.
Because the story's clear. Plain and simple.
So this is from Games Radar. Just take a look at the main menu screen once you've completed the game. That isn't just an old coastline, but one which appears to belong to the island of San Catalina, evidenced most notably by the sight of the famous Catalina Casino in the background. This is where the Firefly on the radio told Abby that the reformed group was now based, and the image of the beach coast in the foreground suggests she and Lev actually managed to make it there after all.
That's bullshit. I hate that. I hate that they clarified it. Because I would have been like, oh, like I thought it would have been better to like wonder if like Lev and Abby would have made it safety, like what would have happened. Instead of like knowing that they made it with the Firefly, so you know they're gonna be safe.
Well, I think it was just because I don't know if Sony actually confirmed it or not, but it was people that know, maybe they live there, or maybe people understand that casino.
But well, with that confirmation, like even though we don't want a sequel, like who knows? Like this game is selling a lot,
and
it's like, oh, Naughty Dog. Like if they were pressured into it, they probably would have done another one, maybe.
Yeah. I don't need another one.
But that kind of like you could still do one, but like it kind of closes the thought of like, oh, did they get to the Fireflies? Like, or like where do they go after this? Like the Fireflies, like to me, the Fireflies was lie. So like that was a stinker. Where do they go now? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
But now that they've confirmed it, like it kind of
well, it's been confirmed
ties
by
a bow on it.
It get confirmed by Games Radar. It's not really being confirmed by Sony, but
Well,
I'm
yeah.
looking at a picture of the Catalina Casino, and I'm looking at the main menu right now, and it's straight up it.
Anyways,
but that is that. I was right, just like I have been the entire time for an hour.
Yeah.
10 out of fucking 10.
8 out of 10.
You have time to raise it to a 9 because I feel like I made better arguments.
I still feel, to me personally, like things need to be rearranged, and I still don't like the ending. I would have rather had Ellie die if this is the ending that they want to stick with, because again, she has nothing left.
But we're not going to get into this again.
Yeah.
She has nothing.
Left.
This is just a common thing where it's just you going, I didn't get the exact ending I wanted, so I'm gonna lower it to an 8, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
That is a classic case. Just saying.
Again, the ending leaves you wanting. It leaves a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people complain and say that this ending leaves them like unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Like,
well, unlike me, they weren't paying attention.
Well, I saw the last scene. I'm just saying, like, it still leaves you with like this sense of nothing's okay. Like, even though like we see that Joel will, like, they're trying to work through it with Joel. He's fucking dead. This is the day before he dies.
Yeah.
So, like, that still hits hard. It's like, oh, he's still dead. Like, he dies after this. Like, they're trying to patch it together, and he's dead.
Yeah.
That makes me hate Abby all over again.
It did make me hate Abby all over again.
She took what could have been.
Yeah. And you know.
And she got exactly everything she wanted. And Ellie gets nothing. Like, Ellie can't even fall. Like, the only thing Ellie can fall back to now is painting.
I mean, you keep saying these things where Abby got everything she wanted. I don't think she did. She didn't.
Her friends are dead.
She didn't get everything she wanted. There's no way.
She got her revenge against Joel.
Yes.
That's all that mattered to her.
Yeah, that's not everything. I mean, yeah, she wanted Joel dead.
I mean, her fuck toy is gone.
Yeah, but like, why does Ellie have to kill her for it to be a successful game?
To give us The
Last of Us has never been a game. The Last of Us never been a game that just gave us exactly what we wanted. It never has. It never has. And to be perfectly honest with you, the ending of The Last of Us 1 is gumdrops and rainbows compared to a lot of the stuff that happens in this game.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, the game builds you up for, like, this showdown. Especially with Ellie, it builds you up for this killing of Abby. Like, because, one, Joel's dead, then Tommy gets shot, then Jesse gets shot. And it's like, it's building to, like, them eventually having come to blows, which they already had one.
But you are looking at it.
I'm okay with them ending it after Abby beats the shit out of Ellie. Like, Abby still wins, Ellie loses, but at least she still has a family at the end of it.
But The Last of Us, I think you're getting lost in the moral of the story that I've talked about the entire
Revenge
time.
Sucks. I get that.
That is the moral. Your obsession with something will not end well in the end. It didn't, and I know you're saying Abby got everything she wanted, but she really didn't. She lost. I mean, if it like Lev,
she lost her friend.
She lost, yes, but she also lost her dad before. That's when she went after Joel, just like Ellie. She lost all of her friends. So did Ellie, except for Dina. And I know, but that
But
sick
again,
obsession.
when it comes from a character we've had 2 games to spend time with versus a character we've only had 1, we want to see good things for the character we already knew.
Yeah, but but if you don't get that, it doesn't instantly make the game bad.
No,
It
but
doesn't
I do.
instantly make the ending bad just because she didn't have a happy ending. Because in the world of
Yeah,
The Last of Us, happy endings don't exist.
that's true. But I don't know. It's just the way the story is laid out and the abrupt ending where, like, yeah, they have the flashback, but again, in the context, in the heat of the moment,
Mhm.
we don't know, so
Yeah,
it just ends abruptly. So it's like, what?
yeah. But
And that's my argument. It's like my argument is for that abrupt ending. It
yes,
doesn't make sense.
but you're saying it's bad because of the heat of the moment, but you get context. And I've said this many times. Like in the heat of the moment doesn't matter if you have context. If it's in the heat of the moment and you never get context, it's just a flash, cool. But we have context. I just don't think it matters where that flashback is. I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I've said that. But we're never going to agree on that. I'm right. It happens. It
Yeah.
sometimes you got to be wrong, man. And I'm happy that you sat here for over an hour and just been wrong with me. I'm just kidding. But you have anything else to add?
Did I say fuck Seattle
Fuck,
already?
fuck Seattle. It's a very luscious green place.
It's a
But
swampy place.
what I could tell you is when you first get to Seattle day one, go find the music shop and have Ellie sing "Take on Me" to Dina. Do not miss that if you miss anything else. And we're in a spoiler thing. So also don't forget to go to the bank and get Nathan Drake's ring.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I went to the bank.
If you look in one of the lock boxes, the ring that says "Sic Parvis Magna" is in one of the
God,
lock boxes.
see, I checked the lock boxes and I thought I saw something shiny, but nothing ever popped up for me.
Yeah, I picked it up. I have it. I had the proof. Sic Parvis Magna ring. It's there.
Yeah, like I swore I saw something shiny, but like there was no button prompt to pick anything up, so I just kept going.
Yeah, it was a. I mean, I can't confirm or deny. All I know is it worked for me. But yeah, in that safe, it's there. It's a trophy.
I might have it recorded if you want that, but like, yeah, I checked and nothing popped up for me.
Okay.
Because I saw it after I picked up a note, and I was like, was there something shiny in that lockbox? So I went to go check it, and nothing popped up. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, and that's the thing with this game. If you want to have a little thing to say that doesn't really affect the score at all, is sometimes stuff doesn't pop up to pick it up unless you're like in a perfect place.
I think me and you had talked about this off screen about how like there was like random lights.
Random lights on the ground. Another random lights on the ground that when you see it from a distance, it looks like a collectible, and you get close, and it's just like a random light on the ground.
Yeah.
It happened a few times. It happened a few times. Didn't ruin anything. It's just you will run up to every little bit. You're like, this is it. You're like, oh, that's not it. But yeah.
Nothing else to say.
Nothing else to say. All right, Abby, I'm happy you made it to Catalina. That being said, I hope you go after VTM next for all this slander he put on you.
Fuck Abby.
And but that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much. An hour of fun, plus an hour and a half of fun. We've been at it, baby. But
I said we need to cut this short, and somehow we went this long.
Hey, we can't cut it short. I knew this was gonna go over an hour.
Yeah.
There was no way this wasn't going over an hour. There was so much to talk about in this game.
But
anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and we will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.